Wargroove is a pretty cool series that combines turn-based tactics, large armies, powerful heroes, and a ton of different factions that war against each other in an epic fantasy world. In it, you have multiple distinct human empires, menacing hordes of undead, stealthy plant-like creatures that hunt in the middle of the night, bands of roaming pirates, merfolk who fight in the oceans, and a bunch of scholarly possums. Each faction has multiple leaders who excel in different areas, cultures that prioritize different things, and a vast array of competing interests to pit them against each other. So it's kind of a shame they all have the same units and play the same way. Once you realize this, every time the game introduces a new unit, it no longer feels unique or interesting. If everyone can do everything, then differences between the factions become meaningless. Introducing new units and factions feels a lot more boring. Warcraft 2, a game I absolutely love, has a very similar problem. In that game, the humans and orcs are essentially the same faction with different skins. It worked well enough to create a compelling game, but this seriously limited its storytelling potential. When developing their future games, Blizzard recognized this problem and solved it. Starting in StarCraft and continuing on through Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2, Blizzard introduced balanced asymmetry into their games. Factions went from being mirror images of each other to becoming unique, fully fleshed out tech trees with their own strengths and weaknesses. Writing a campaign around this asymmetry provides both an opportunity and a challenge. When done well, you can use your writing and gameplay to show this asymmetry in action, letting the player fight with or against each faction where they're strongest. A lot of games stumble when it comes to introducing new factions. The original StarCraft campaign introduced the Zerg and Terran reasonably well, but it really underutilized the Protoss early on, making them feel a lot weaker than they probably should be. New units are also introduced somewhat arbitrarily in both StarCraft games, which can be fine, but rarely feel spectacular. When writing Warcraft 3, Blizzard went above and beyond not just to create a game, but also to create a universe. Every faction in this game tells a story, each unit revealing information about how their native societies function. Technically, there are 4 factions in Warcraft 3, but practically, each faction is formed from a ton of different sub-factions. Some of these sub-factions are even differentiated in the campaign, with their own unique tech tree. Outside of these factions, Warcraft 3 also enriches their world with hundreds of distinct creeps, each one appearing in different regions. All of this differentiation helps Warcraft 3 feel like a real world you can imagine living in, and is one of the biggest reasons why the jump to World of Warcraft felt like such a natural progression from this game. Today, I want to talk about the way Warcraft 3 introduces factions, and seamlessly integrates its gameplay into its story using its faction design. The most prominent example of this integration is in the Orc campaign of Reign of Chaos. Based on the warnings of a prophet, Thrall leads what remains of his people west, to the lands of Kalimdor. At the start of his campaign, the Orcs are a shell of what they once were, a broken faction without any of the alliances that once made the Horde strong. It falls on Thrall to rebuild the Horde into a strong fighting force again, and to do that, he needs to make allies. The first couple missions are non-base levels as the Orcs are trudging through the ashes of the Barrens, trying to find a good place to settle. Along the way, they came across a war between the Tauren and the Centaur, which the Tauren are decisively losing. Thrall helps the Tauren escape the Barrens, and in return, the Tauren gift Thrall with their first new Orc unit, the Kodo Beast. Level 3 is where the campaign starts getting spicy. Thrall comes across Grom and the rest of the Orcs fighting some humans, and in this we get introduced to the main conflict of the campaign. Grom, sensing the demons returning, wants to fight the humans, but Thrall wants to negotiate with the humans. Thrall orders Grom to stand down and not fight the humans, but Grom blatantly ignores these orders and attacks the humans anyway. The humans here are led by Jaina, and the game shows this in a very clever way. Jaina is open to the idea of peace, and as a result, each human base is passive and will not attack you until Grom attacks them first. One of the human bases is in between you and a goblin laboratory you're trying to access, but the other human bases would be completely ignorable if Grom didn't intentionally provoke them. Grom is also a terrible tactician, as he attacks every human base in turn, turning them against you one by one. This level ends with you basically being forced to fight the humans, and it's all Grom's fault. In the cutscene after the level ends, Thrall and the player are both angry with Grom for making this level a whole lot tougher than it needed to be.
Have you lost what's left of your mind, Grom? I gave you a direct order to leave the humans alone. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't lecture me, pup. The wretches deserved death. Don't you feel it, Thrall? It's like the old days, like the demons are near. I don't know what's come over you and your men, but this bloodlust is a liability that I can't afford.
We learn that a major war against the humans is preventable, and that Grom actively stands against what the orcs need to be in order to thrive in this new land. After an argument, Thrall and Grom split ways, and we control Grom for the next few missions. Thrall has ordered Grom to set up base camp in Ashenvale, which is essentially a punishment for attacking the humans. Grom is doing an essential but boring task, while Thrall is doing the exciting tasks that the best warriors normally would do. To make his base camp, Grom needs to harvest a whole lot of lumber. This level therefore just asks us to harvest 15,000 lumber as his objective, and at first it seems like the only thing stopping us are a few weird dancing lights. Some of the orcs feel like this place is magical and hesitate at cutting down trees here, but Grom overrules their concerns. After a couple of minutes, we learn why these dancing lights exist. A group of warrior women attack Grom's base, as we finally get introduced to our final playable faction of the base game. The Night Elves are fierce warriors who fight to protect nature, and they are not happy we are cutting down so many trees. This level's objective creates a perfectly natural conflict. It's pretty easy to believe the orcs need this lumber to set up a base camp, so Grom isn't actually doing anything particularly wrong here. The elves, though, don't need to cut down trees to harvest lumber, so they pretty reasonably oppose the orcs' actions. This level uses some other clever mechanisms to set up the elves too. To win, you don't actually need to defeat all the elven bases, and most blind players probably won't do that, so the elves are allowed to be intimidating without stopping the player from progressing. Having wisps all over the map is a good starting touch, as it serves to make the elves a little more mysterious while simultaneously showing how the elves are used to this territory being safe. The last thing this level does to tie the elves to nature is to give you 3,000 lumber every time you destroy a Tree of Life. This reinforces the conflict, while also giving the player an advantage for being aggressive. The Night Elves are tied to nature through the gameplay, so we immediately experience what their faction is about. Eventually, Grom collects his 15,000 lumber, and we move on to the next level. The Night Elves are not happy with Grom's mass deforestation, so they escalate things to their ultimate guardian, Cenarius. This demigod is exceedingly powerful, regrowing the entire forest in a single spell, and sending treants to attack Grom's base. In the first minute of the mission, the Night Elves obliterate your outlying bases and send in a pretty strong attack towards your main base. Defending yourself from the Night Elves is doable, but if you try to attack the elven bases, you find yourself quickly outmatched by Cenarius, who has divine armor, taking 1 damage from every attack. The only way to beat Cenarius is to go to a side objective, clearing out a special fountain that's been spiked with the blood of Manaroth, a demon. By consuming his blood, our orcs are transformed into Chaos Orcs, who become stronger, faster, and able to hit all armor types for full damage. In just 2 levels, this campaign has built the Night Elves into an extremely powerful faction under the protection of ancient deities. The Night Elves are shown to be fierce warriors and capable defenders, very much in tune with the natural world. We can see how they might have defeated the Burning Legion in the past, and it sets up the elves being the last line of defense against this otherworldly power. To defeat their armies and survive, the orcs needed the help of demons. They could not do it alone. This brings us to our second sub-faction introduction, Chaos Orcs. We don't play with this faction for very long, since it's very easy to beat the level once you get Chaos powers. However, that's sort of the point. When our orcs become Chaos Warriors, it feels good. Chaos Grunts are so strong, why wouldn't you want to accept this power? That question is immediately answered, because not everyone actually accepts the power. Trolls decide not to drink from the fountain, not wanting to get corrupted by this demonic energy. So, naturally, the player's response here is to just not train them anymore. Trolls are just not that useful compared to Chaos Grunts and Chaos Raiders. Get me more of that demonic energy. With Manaroth's power, Grom slays Cenarius, defeats the Night Elves, and becomes enslaved to demonic forces once more. Next up, we go back to Thrall, who's trying to reach an oracle. So far, he's avoided confrontation with the humans, but that is about to change. He needs to get through a mountain pass to reach his oracle, and the humans are guarding it. There's no getting around this conflict, it's time to fight the humans once more. Thrall isn't alone though. This level, we start to see the fruits of Thrall's compassion. The Tauren he helped earlier come back, wanting to repay his kindness by joining the Horde. A side quest on this map also has us freeing a bunch of wyverns that have been captured by some harpies. By helping them out, we get the ability to train wyverns. These wyverns are also immediately useful because Blue's base is above a cliff, which the flying units are really good at assaulting. With wyverns in Tauren, Thrall's horde is finally complete. He didn't build up his horde by submitting to a higher power or by forcing his strength on lessers, but instead by using his strengths to protect those who willingly decide to join him. With his allies, he defeats the humans, then explores a cave in a quest to find the Oracle. Upon reaching the Oracle, he learns that he's not the only one seeking it. Jaina is searching for it too, and they arrive at the same time. They both instinctively try to fight, but are stopped by the Oracle, who turns out to be Medivh. Medivh begs Jaina and Thrall to stop fighting, letting Thrall know that Grom has been corrupted by demons. Horrified by this news, Thrall swallows his pride and asks Jaina for help, setting up for an epic finale. With Grom fully corrupted, we now have a battle for the soul of the Orcish horde. Will the orcs once again be consumed by demons, forever destined to be slaves to a higher power? Or will the orcs be diplomatic fighters, using their strengths to help those around them, convincing a variety of creatures to join the horde willingly for the benefit of all? While Grom and Thrall controlled similar armies in Mission 3, their armies have differentiated as a result of the decisions they made. Grom's Chaos Orcs are stronger, faster, and tougher than Thrall's units. We know from experience how powerful these guys are, and facing them is just as terrifying as you'd imagine it to be. To make things even harder, infernals rain down from the sky, assisting Grom's forces against you. However, when you look at things a little closer, you start to see the cracks in his facade. Grom's raw power came at the expense of his allies and freedom. All the trolls who once served under Grom are now imprisoned, as they refuse to drink Mannoroth's blood and see this sham for what it is. Chaos Peons are sent out with attack waves, showing that this curse is replacing strategy with blind bloodlust. Grom's army has raw power and nothing else. It's still terrifying, but it's clear that even if Grom wins this battle, he's already lost the horde. Thrall, meanwhile, has a very different army. He does not have the pure power of chaos energy, but instead has all of his friends and allies he's collected over the course of the campaign. Thrall isn't just the leader of the orcs anymore. He's the leader of a coalition involving orcs, trolls, kodos, wyverns, and Tauren. Jaina also allies with him, which gives him humans, dwarves, and elves on his side too. Every single species here is working together for a common goal, and even though Grom's demonic orcs are stronger than any one of them individually, together they have a chance. And this level here, is how you establish a climactic finale. Narratively, this might be my favorite level in Warcraft 3, and it's all one giant metaphor about the power of friendship. Thrall has spent all campaign using the strength of his horde to build alliances, and this mission is the payoff. Under Thrall, the orcs have evolved from bloodlusting madmen infected by demons to strong warriors who use their strengths to help those in need. Now, everyone he's helped over this campaign is there to fight for him, to rescue Grom from the clutches of demons. Thrall isn't fighting for dominance, he's fighting to help Grom, to save him from a dark path, to restore the warrior that's been lost to corruption. And when Thrall rescues Grom with the help of the humans, what does the Blademaster do? He admits he lost his way and works with Thrall to charge Mannoroth's lair. Thrall took a risk saving Grom, and it's still an open question whether the Blademaster will embrace Thrall or Mannoroth when the time comes to choose. Mannoroth assumes his power will easily win the day, but in the end, Thrall's compassion comes through. Grom chooses Thrall, sacrificing himself to slay the mighty demon. The orcs are free, and they are stronger than they have ever been before. Recently, we've been in a bit of an RTS resurgence, as so many new RTS games are being developed to claim the mantle from StarCraft 2 and become a new dominant title. When developing these games, I hope the developers consider how important it is to tell a story within the gameplay. If a faction is supposed to be fast and sneaky, I want to feel that as I play with them. If a new faction is overwhelmingly powerful, let them show off that power in-game. If one faction is having a civil war, I want each side to be similar enough to be recognizable, but also different enough to show how these sides are not quite the same. I want a character's choices to change what type of units follow them, and I want each faction in the gameplay to feel like they should be based on the story. In an RPG, upgrades are the reward for getting stronger. In an RTS, new units are a reward for expanding your influence. Thank you, and I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Luna. It's your turn to get involved in the recording. I don't have a third chair for you. You want to cuddle on my lap? You want to cuddle right here?